Hey guys, Telegram Sam here. This week's shout is going to go to HiOctane Revival. He does these great vinyl nuggets videos where he shows off the recent 45s he's gotten. He mainly collects 45s, but he also shows a couple of LPs, and he'll play little snippets of them. He mainly collects like 60s garage, proto-punk, rockabilly, hardcore punk, new wave records. Every time I watch his video, I always discover a new band or a new album. He shows some really deep cut stuff, and a lot of his videos aren't that long. They're usually like 5 to 10 minutes, so you don't have to really sit down and watch a whole half-hour video about it. But I'll link his channel in the description down below. And this week's video actually came from last week's channel shout out, the record spinner. He did this great video called 5 studio albums that are greatest hits albums, where he just showed 5 albums that just have a lot of the band or artists, better known songs on it. And I decided I'd pick out my own 5 from my collection back there. And I tried to pick stuff that from various genres and times, so not to keep it all one tone and one note. So let's get started. First off, I got one of my all-time favorite bands. Any reason I can think of to talk about them, I will. Queens of the Stone Age, Songs for the Deaf. This originally came out in 2002, and this is a 2019 European reissue. This is considered one of their greatest albums. It has No One Knows, which is probably one of their best known songs, Go With The Flow, First It Giveth, Mosquito Song, I love that song, God's in the Radio. And this was when they were in between drummers, so Dave Grohl stepped in for the making of this album and also did the tour for this album. And it also features Mark Lanigan, who Josh Homme originally played guitar in Screaming Trees, which was Mark Lanigan's old band. And then, Mark came and lended his vocals to a couple of songs on here, and is killer. Love it. Not my all-time favorite Queens of the Stone Age album, but I definitely get why it's considered their best by most people. This is the record. It's just on black vinyl with this custom label. Then next we got a 60s blue-eyed singer sort of thing. This is Dusty Springfield's Dusty in Memphis. The funny thing about this album is that this was actually, when it first came out, panned. No one bought it. It wasn't until about 10 years later, once they started showing up in secondhand shops, that it sort of gained popularity, and has sort of grown this cult following as one of the greatest albums to come out of the 60s. This is originally came out in 1969. This is a 2017 reissue. But this, has Son of a Preacher Man on it, So Much Love, Just a Little Lovin', just all of Dusty's classic songs. And this would probably only be the only Dusty Springfield album I'll probably ever buy. A lot of them just don't hold up to this, so. And this one just came on black vinyl as well, with, the Atlantic label, red, white, and green. Now next we got a hard rock staple. I feel like everyone that first starts getting into hard rock has to listen to this album. This is AC/DC's Highway to Hell. This is just such a hard rock, I'd say even at times metal record. I'm definitely a Bon Scott girl. I don't really mess around with the Brian Johnson era of AC/DC. Of course, Back in Black is a great album, but after that, I feel like all the albums just start to kind of sound the same. But I love all of the Bon Scott era AC/DC albums, and this is definitely their best. And sadly, this was the last album Bon Scott was on before he died shortly a year after this was released. He's the one on the side right here. But this was originally released in 1979. This particular one is a 2003 reissue. You got Highway to Hell, Girls Got Rhythm, Walk All Over You, Night Prowler. Just every song on here is a hit. AC/DC is just such a classic. I mean, what more is there to say, really? And just came on black vinyl with these custom AC/DC labels. And next, I had to throw some rap and hip hop on here. So I chose A Tribe Called Quest Low End Theory. This is just such a seminal 90s hip hop rap album. This originally came out in 1991, and this is a recent reissue. I don't know exactly the year, but I know it's probably within the last couple years or so. But yeah, so the Tribe Called Quest lineup is Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, and Jarobi White. But Jarobi White left before the making of this record to go study culinary in college. So this actually only really features Q-Tip and Phife Dawg. But yeah, just some of their best songs are on this album. Check the Rhyme, Jazz We've Got, which is probably their best known song. Scenario, Bugging Out. This also features one of the first songs Busta Rhymes was ever on. So this album is really credited with like starting his career. But yeah, this is considered one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, especially I would say from like the East Coast. This is definitely one of the best. But yeah, just so great. Love A Tribe Called Quest. And this just came on the replication of the old school Jive simple white label on black vinyl. And then lastly, we got Big Brother and the Holding Company's Cheap Thrills. I mean, this is just such a cool album cover by the cartoonist Robert Crumb. You know, you got the Hell's Angel seal of approval. Gatefold, and it has this great picture of Janis on it. I love that picture. But yeah, this originally came out in 1968. I don't know if this is a first pressing, but this is definitely an early pressing of this album. But you know, Big Brother and the Holding Company obviously was the first band Janis Joplin was in before she had her short solo career. I mean, they released a lot of things afterwards in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but like nothing compares to what they did with Janis. Their sort of psych rock blues sound is just so synonymous. And you know, you got songs Summertime, Piece of My Heart, Ball and Chain, Turtle Blues. This is definitely Big Brother and the Holding Company's best album, and some of Janis Joplin's best songs are on this, so had to shout that out. And this just came on the classic Columbia 2i red label with the 360 sound stereo on it. But yeah, those were my 5 picks of great albums that are essentially greatest hits albums for those bands and artists. I actually have a really exciting video for next week. My mom is coming down on Thursday, and she's staying for 5 days for a late Mother's Day hangout, and she agreed to do a video with me. My mom is a huge music lover. She's definitely where I discovered my love for music, and she had such a great taste in music, so she agreed to talk about music, and she's probably going to go through my collection, pick out some of her favorites and talk about them. And she just has so many great stories of being a kid running around Seattle and the music scene at that time. So yeah, I'll definitely be really interesting. I'm really excited for you guys to meet my really cool mom. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.